Hi, students. I just wanted to say a little bit about what annotation is. This week, you're going to be learning to use a new app, Perusal. And part of the reason I want to use that app is because so many of you have told me kind of how hard it is to break down a poem on your own. And I'm thinking this might be a good tool for helping you do that. And actually, not being on your own, you're going to be able to look at a poem and think about it and write comments on it, along with other students in our class, which hopefully you'll be able to help each other. Also, in the poem you're going to see on Perusal, I've written a bunch of guiding questions at different points in the poem, in hopes that that will help you too. So annotations are really just comments on a text. And the reason we annotate is because GCC English classes and many college classes are not just about learning to be a better writer, but they're also about learning to be a better reader. So a lot of the things we've done in this class, the think alouds, the bio poems, they're all just trying to make you better readers. And better readers are active and engaged readers. So reading well is different from like watching TV, where you might, or at least reading literature well and reading college texts well. Sometimes I come home from work or, at the end of my day, I spread out on the couch and turn on Law and Order, and I don't want to think about it. I just want to let it wash over me. But good active readers approach reading less like watching TV and more like tennis players. Like the reader, the writer says something and the reader has a thought about that and engages back. So the text is like the ball, they're tossing back and forth. So one of the things I want as your teacher is to help you cultivate that habit of reading in a really active and engaged way. And there are a lot of different ways to do that, but one way to do that is to annotate. Sometimes annotation is called talking to the text. So as you go through the poem on Perusal, just write down your thoughts about it. I've given you some sentence frames. When in doubt, you can always summarize. I think what she's saying here is X. I think what's going on here is Y. I think this means blah, blah, blah. Putting something in your own words is a great practice and a great way of making sure you understand it, or at least trying to identify whether you understand it. You can also ask questions. You're required to ask at least one question on the text of the poem you're reading in Perusal. You are required to answer at least one of my questions or one of your fellow students' questions, either. You don't have to be right. You can guess. You can say, I really don't know, but I think. And you can use any of the sentence frames on the sentence frame handout that I always post with your journal entries. I've also listed some sentence frames in the assignment directions on Perusal. But the idea is you're just talking to the text. You're just making comments as you read through the poem. It's fine. And in fact, research shows it's really helpful sometimes to connect it to your personal experience. This line reminds me of my uncle who also had asthma, or this makes me think of when I was in high school. That's all fine too. So any of those ways are good ways to practice annotation and to practice commenting on a text. That's it. Let me know if you have questions.